I had nothing on my resume. I feel like once I got there and I watched other people, you have to make a video
Mm-hmm.
and people go crazy with these videos. And I had no like experience to talk about. Like I was just like, I really want to do this, but I haven't really done it yet.
Amazing.
Cool.
Nice to meet you. I'm Adam,
Nice to meet you. I'm
and
Sadie.
this is about your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new songs you have out and what else you have going on.
Cool.
Awesome. We start out. Are you, uh, oh, you have that really cool, like, is that the iPad that moves along with you when you move your
Oh
face?
no.
No, no, I think it's awesome. That's what I was curious.
I've been trying,
Leave it
honestly.
on. It's dope. No, I'm serious because I was like,
Okay.
oh, damn, you have like some great camera work going on. No,
Yeah.
I interviewed somebody else and I was like, whoa, I was so
I don't know how
jealous.
to change it. One time
No,
I
it's
accidentally turned it on and I was like, this is a little intense. But
no, it's
I'm
rad.
glad.
I appreciate it. I was I just noticed it when you moved. I was like, oh wow, she's got that cool effect going.
Okay, sick.
Sorry. So where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Orange County, California.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm from San Diego. We were just talking about
Oh,
that.
cool.
So Orange County, what part of Orange County?
Tustin,
Oh, okay.
California.
Very,
Kind of
very
like
cool.
some small town vibes. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Did you like
my,
it there?
yeah, I like it. Now I like it more. I feel like when I was in it, I was like, this is the worst. But I actually think it was a really good place to grow up. And like my dad went to the same high school I went to, and like my
No way.
friends' parents. It's like very much that vibe. And I liked it. It was
That's
good.
Did I see you move to New York? Are you at Clive Davis? Or
Yeah,
you
I
were?
did. I'm taking time off, but I did go to Clive Davis in New York.
Okay.
The
I thought
best.
so. So I figured like that's such a jump from Orange County all the way across the whole entire United
No, it
States.
was insane. I didn't know anyone that did music or wanted to do anything in the creative industry at all until I like went to school. So it was a kind of a culture shock in that way that all
I
these
bet.
people want to do something like fun.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. Like all my friends are just kind of like studying business, which is like cool. But I didn't know that other people wanted to write songs or whatever. It was weird. So
Yeah. How did you start in music? Do you have a musical family at all, or do you come from a musical household?
no, which is weird. I don't know why. I think I think I have like grandparents that like to play piano.
Uh-huh.
Um, but or like great grandparents or something. There's some type of music lovers in my history, but no one in my immediate family like did music. Like my dad loves music and my brother loves music, but I don't know, I just kind of started making up songs. Like I don't know, I don't remember, but my mom and family would be like, you would just before you could talk would just make up the songs with no
Oh
words.
wow, like little melodies and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah, it was weird. And then I would like make my sister write them down for me before I learned how to write. And so there's
Oh
like,
really? So
yeah,
you
like,
what, tell her the lyrics and she'd write them
yeah,
down?
this
That's
is my
amazing.
song. Can you write it down for me? Because I don't know how to write.
That's so cool. Dang, that's awesome. So you're writing music or writing songs before and lyrics before you could even literally write.
Yeah, they definitely weren't good, but I was doing it. I was doing
They weren't.
No.
Uh, but wow, did you go? Were you in piano lessons or anything when you were young, or is it basically just
Yeah,
you singing? Okay.
yeah, that is one thing I will say. My mom did make us all do piano lessons. My siblings, because I have a brother and a sister,
Hmm.
they hated it. And I was always so jealous because they're a lot older than me. My brother's 5 years older and my sister's 7 years older. And I
Okay.
was so jealous because I wasn't old enough to do lessons yet when they were doing their lessons and they hated it. And then when I did, I was like, wait, this is actually so fun. And so I stuck with it for kind of a while. But that helped me so much with writing songs. Like first grade,
Yeah.
I could do the chord and write the chord. But yeah, I love piano. It's my favorite instrument
How
for sure.
how long did you play it? Like, were you in lessons? Like, you do it
I
through
think like
in high school or
6 or 7 years, but
wow.
I stopped. It was really intense. It was this thing called certificate of merit, and you have to test. You go to a test room, and it's super intense. And it's basically like the SAT for music, but once a year. And it's so scary. And you have to do a performance one in front of a scary teacher, and they mark you so you can move up to the next level. And it gave me so much anxiety. Like by the end of it, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I quit, but it definitely helped me a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's always interesting when I hear stories about these like piano teachers that are or these situations where it's just so intense. Like,
It
oh,
was
the technique has to be perfect, or you're not advancing. It's like I thought this was supposed to be like
I know,
a
like
fun
art.
activity. When did this become like so strict?
I know. It was weird. It was so weird. But I guess it makes sense if I wanted to do something classical, but it kind of stopped making sense when I was doing more pop vibes.
Yeah, yeah. So you did that up until it got a little intense. But did you
Yeah.
write songs during that time period, or were you just learning? I
Oh,
mean, it
for
sounds
sure.
like you're always writing songs, but like at
Yeah.
what point were you showing people or like playing out or anything like that?
I so I was writing songs every day of my life from like my whole as long as I can remember, but I never told anyone. Or I think I told people like growing up, but once I got to the age of 8, I posted one on YouTube that was like just a cappella, me like some silly little song. And it was like, I mean, you're in 3rd grade, people aren't that nice, I feel
Mhm.
like. And a few people would like tease me about this video. And then I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Writing songs is embarrassing. Music is embarrassing. I took it down. I like wiped it from everyone's memory. And I never told anyone again that I liked music. Like literally, I would do my piano lessons like in secret. I eventually like was taking voice lessons and like didn't tell anyone except for like my family. But even my family didn't know I was writing songs anymore. Like no one. I was crazy. I'd purposely sing bad in the car with my friends. Like I was insane about it. And then eventually when
Awful that you had to deal with that. I
I
mean,
know it's really sad to think about now, but eventually I told people, but it wasn't until junior year of high school.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
it took you that long. And why, or do you remember why changed? Like your junior year, you're like, all right, I'm gonna show people now. I've been doing this
it was
forever. But
it was because of college applications.
oh, really?
Yeah, I was like everyone was talking about college applications, and I realized that I didn't want to go to school for something besides music. But then even then I was telling people that I would just go for music business or music. And I wasn't like lying. I had the intention of going for those things because I was so scared of committing to what I actually wanted to do. But I was going to go for classical opera voice and some like weird stuff because I was so scared of following my dream. And then eventually I was like, people, if I'm going to be wanting to go to school for music, even those things that aren't being a pop singer or whatever, they have to know that I sing. So I sent my friends a video of me singing a cover of Creep by Radiohead. And they were like, what the hell, you can sing? I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah. And they were like, you have to post this. So I posted on my Instagram. It's still on my Instagram. And then everyone was like, wait, you can sing? And my brother was like, wait, you can sing? And he was like,
Like, he didn't even know.
he didn't really know. Like I was in choir, but they didn't know that I like loved
Was
it
really
and did
good.
it, I guess. I don't I won't say that about myself, but like
I'll
they
say it.
never heard me sing. And then my brother was like, you have to do this. You have to go to school for this. You have to like go do this. And then that's kind of when it all started moving, I feel like.
Oh, wow. So even but I guess prior to even, doing the audition or knowing you wanted to go to school for music, were you telling people like, "Oh, yeah," like, when they're talking about, "I'm gonna go to UCLA," or, whatever it may be, were you just like, "Yeah." Do you have to kinda play along, like, "Same here," or like, at what
Yeah.
point are you like, I want to go to for music or even music business, and people are like, huh? Like, did you get that
I
reaction at
mean,
all?
yeah, the music business I got away with because it's like, oh, you still want to do business and be like a normal, good student.
Got
But
it.
it got weird when I was like, no, I'm like, maybe I want to go for like being an opera singer. They were like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and then when I did decide I wanted to do like the Clive Davis more contemporary music thing, people just didn't get that at all. But I mean, I don't know. NYU was still a good school. So they were like, oh,
Oh
cool, you're going
yeah.
to like a good school. But so sometimes I just wouldn't say what I was doing because
He's like, oh, I'm going to NYU.
yeah, I'm just like, cool, I'm doing what you want me to do.
Wow. But to have that cover be received by people the way it was, like, oh my God, you should post this. And then your brother, like, you should go to
Mhm.
school for this. Like that must have pretty been validating for you. I mean, you've been hiding this secret or, of this
Yeah.
talent you have. And then people are like, oh, wait, you're good.
Yeah, no, it was really exciting. I remember like going to school the next day and people being like, I didn't know you could sing. Like, yeah, I can sing. But I still wasn't telling people that I was writing songs. So that took another like year. And then
Okay.
I posted like an original song on SoundCloud. And then that was like the scariest thing I've ever done. Still. It's so scary. And then
Yeah.
and
What
then
gave you the confidence? Were you just like, okay, I'm gonna do this? Were you still in high school at that point, or had you
yeah,
gone
I
away
was when I
to?
was a senior. So I
Okay.
posted the cover junior year and then the original song senior year. And I think I knew that I really wanted to do this. I wasn't lying. I wasn't like trying to say the music business thing really anymore. And I really liked the song. And also the boy I wrote it about had just cheated on me. And like
Oh,
and I
get
wanted to
him.
expose him. And so it's
Yeah.
like it also happened in like out of spite, which is funny, but I'm so happy that I needed something to just make me do it. Um, but yeah, it was,
Wow.
it was a time.
What was
Yeah.
it? What song was that? Is it up on your Spotify, or you just never turned?
It's long gone.
It's long gone in the
It was
abyss.
called Call It Off. Maybe it's still like on YouTube or something, but
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. I mean, but to to do it just because that guy, well, that sucks that he cheated on you. But I mean, you were able to get the song out,
Still.
and now look at you.
Yeah.
But okay, so then you end up going to NYU, and are you going for? Did you go for the opera and all that?
No, no.
Okay,
I thankfully got into Clive, which is like um
ridiculously hard.
songwriting. It's like all the things. It's recorded music or whatever. It's
Yeah.
just everything that I would want to do,
Did
which was
you have to
cool.
like apply? I mean, as far as like an application, did you have to submit your own songs and do all that?
Yeah, I have no idea why they accepted me, honestly. But when I mean, I had nothing on my resume. I feel like once I got there and I watched other people, you have to make a video
Hmm.
and people go crazy with these videos. And I had no like experience to talk about. Like I was just like, really want to do this, but I haven't really done it yet.
Oh, you're
And
like,
they
this guy broke up with me. Here's the story.
yeah.
And I wrote this song.
Like literally though, I think I did mention that in my essay. Like,
Well, it makes sense, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, I had to apply. And I think the thing that helps me with NYU is you don't have to submit your SAT score. I had a pretty bad SAT score.
okay.
They
So did
didn't make
I.
me
So
submit it.
not that it matters.
Okay, cool.
I was
Cool.
so bad I had to take the ACT in hopes that I
Really?
did like not nearly
Was
as
it,
bad, just so I could
did you do
just get my
better?
parents off my back. I guess so. There's just more subjects. I think they gave you like a couple more options to, to score a little bit higher.
Yeah, I should have done the ACT, honestly.
Oh,
My
you went to
SAT score.
NYU. That way outreached what I could do with myself. So, but okay, so you get into Clive. Yeah, you get in there. You move all the way across the whole country, which Was
Mhm.
that pretty scary?
Yeah, it was scary. An added layer was it was so COVID because I graduated high school 2020
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
went
Did
off.
you get to walk or anything? I mean, that sounds horrible. Sorry
I
to throw that at
mean,
you.
no, it was no, it was crazy. It was a mandatory 2-week quarantine before you can move into the dorms. Um, and then once school started, it was all online and like you weren't allowed to really talk to people or meet people,
Yeah, you're
really.
like, this college experience sucks.
I think I really made the most of it and it was nice. There were definitely perks of having to have a small circle. Like I'm definitely super close to the small amount of people that I did see. Um, so it was okay. It all worked out. But it
Mhm.
was definitely a huge adjustment to go from like the bubble of Orange County to this just crazy. It's crazy.
City,
New
right?
York was just crazy, and that was
Yeah.
my first times going there too, so I didn't know what to compare it to, but I could tell something was off. There's
Mhm.
just no one outside, but
Yeah, and that was like the mecca of it all for the
mhm.
United States. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Um, with being inside or quarantined, you probably did you live in like the dorms or something?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that where I mean, you obviously have had a song go insane on TikTok, and were you posting on there before or kind of during that period of time? Like,
Yeah.
how were you keeping yourself sane? Were you writing songs still every day? And like, how did that work?
Yeah. So I started using TikTok in quarantine. I feel like a lot of people started
Yeah.
using because we were all just bored, and same here. And I was posting videos, but I wasn't really like I didn't really have a following or anything until What Are You Doing Now? But yeah, my freshman year, I was writing so many songs for sure. That's definitely I think that is what was keeping me sane. And also my next door neighbor was like my best friend ever. He's still like my best friend. And we would just like he would sneak into my room and we would just like because you weren't allowed to have people in your room. It was crazy. But we would
So yeah,
just
you're
like
at college, you're supposed to have this college experience, but you're literally just like living in a dorm with no one
yeah.
around you and
And it's
nowhere to
like my
go.
first winter ever also. I had never like experienced a winter.
Oh yeah,
It was
in Orange
crazy.
County.
Yeah.
Oh
Things were
my.
sad. Things were sad. And that's yeah, that
But it all
was
worked out. I mean,
it all
obviously.
worked out. Yeah. Definitely yeah. I was going through it for sure. I
Yeah.
went through like the worst breakup still of my life, like the end of that year. And that's what like all my songs are about. But I was like, it was just so sad when I think about myself, like first New York winter, no one's allowed in my room. Like I'm like so sad about this breakup. But it all happened for a reason. And then yeah, What Are You Doing Now was written like not
Around that.
too long after that.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you sad because let's talk about the fact that you put that song up and now it has like hundreds of millions of plays, not only on Spotify, but then all your songs have well over 1 million. And you posted 2 weeks ago, you're like, Locksmith made 50 million streams. And now it's already at nearly 54 million streams. So like within a couple
Whoa.
weeks, it's already gained like 4 more million. I mean, it's wild how I mean,
Whoa.
it's not that wild, but I mean, it's amazing how
No, it's wild.
successful it is. I mean, and you are to think like, oh, I'll just break up, I'm stuck in this dorm and this and the other thing, and then it's like your career just starts.
I know. It's crazy to think about. Yeah, I obviously never expected that that many people would hear my songs, especially come like after so many years of being so secret about it. It's
Yeah.
weird to think about that many people like listening. It's crazy.
So when you post, like, so you had TikToks up, but were you not posting original music at that point prior to,
I was
um,
posting a little bit. Like yeah, I was definitely posting songs I was writing, just like singing them on the piano, but I had
mhm.
never posted really like a demo.
Oh,
Like
okay.
what we're doing now, we played, it was recorded, which I feel like I don't know if that made a difference, but Yeah, that I had never really recorded a song, honestly.
Where did you record it? Would you just do it in your dorm? Or were you able to
So
do, like, go somewhere and record it at this point?
so at NYU, I met two of my like good friends, Grace Anger and David Alexander, and we would do these writing trips where the first one we went to Colorado and like that was how we met David actually. It was crazy. We just flew to the middle of the mountains in Colorado. We're like, hope he's normal because we had written on Zoom a few times. But it was the best thing ever. And we realized that that was our first time. That was definitely me and Grace's first time co-writing really ever.
Mhm.
And we started writing songs and then we would do that like every so often, go on these trips. And the before sophomore year started is when we went on one of these writing trips and wrote What Are You Doing Now?
Mhm.
And David was learning how to produce and he like just we did my vocal and a little scratch piano. And then we put that on TikTok and you can see it like the first time I posted it was in the studio and it's just me and David like let's do TikTok because it was still early in the musicians using TikTok days, I feel like.
Yeah. And does it go, like, quickly? Like, is it blowing up quickly? I mean, to have a viral moment, what was that like? I mean, do you put your phone down, come back, and you see that all millions of people are interacting with this video you've just done?
Yeah, I think it was like the next day I woke up and it had like half a million views or something. And
Oh
I
my gosh.
we were all like, "What? Didn't expect that." But then I posted it again and then it did well again. And it's kind of like it just started building on itself and then people would use the sound for their own videos and then other people's videos would do well and it just became this thing.
Uh-huh.
And then the open verse challenge made it this like bigger thing. But yeah, it's crazy how the internet can just take something and like go do its thing. I feel like I wasn't
Right.
even doing that much, but people just like that song.
And then it does,
Mm.
I mean, obviously it blows up, and then at that point, that had to change a lot for you, I would imagine, right? Are
Mhm.
people reaching out to you like, "Oh, hey, what do you got going on?" And at least you have so many years of experience writing songs because I've interviewed other people that have had that TikTok moment, or it's like, I posted the snippet of a song that I was gonna do, and then it blows up, and then, what up, where you at now? But it's like, the fact that you had a back catalog of songs or songs that you had been writing forever, um, that must have been beneficial, obviously, to having something like that blow up. But when that happens, is it like, oh my gosh, like, do like how do you kind of like not carry on, but I guess like use that as like a stepping stone? You know what I mean? Like that's is happening is like, oh, I need to take advantage of this moment. Like this is
Mhm.
crazy. Like, what did
Yeah.
you end up doing? Like when that all kind of unfolded?
So when I think about it, I definitely freaked out because I had never no, I didn't know anyone in the music industry. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how to upload a song. I didn't know what it meant to put a song out. I didn't know anything really. Um, and so all of a sudden, like everyone's kind of sorry, my phone made a noise. But all of a sudden, everyone's asking me like, what, where are you signed, and what do you want to do for the rest of your life, and we can
Yes.
make these things happen, and all your dreams are right in front of you, like, don't mess up. And it's, like, the scariest and I'm easily overwhelmed also, and I just wasn't ready. When I look back, I wasn't ready to have all of everything right in front of me, but, like, don't mess it up. Like, that's literally the vibe, like, I mean, that's just me talking about, like, all the industry stuff. When
Well,
it
yeah, and just in general, now you have all these people like, "Oh, hey, what do you got going?" And I would
yeah,
be overwhelmed too, like, "Uh-oh," like, yeah,
yeah,
this is what I wanted, and this is what I've always wanted, but and now it's
yeah.
here, it's like, how do I even handle this?
I know. It was just and I feel so lucky and I still don't even understand how it all happened. And I'm so grateful for all the people that found me through that song. Um, but it was so there was a part of it that was just so scary. And I feel like I kind of left my body for like a while. Like when I look back at that time, I don't remember anything for like 8 months after that. Like I I just like panicked. It was so stressful and everyone's like, what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do next? Don't mess up. And I was just like, I just wanna like write songs, and then I'm getting put in all these sessions, and I had only ever written with my 2 friends or my by myself, and then it's like, "Oh, you're gonna write with this person, they've done all these things, so it's gonna be a great song," and but it was so hard to stay true to myself in that time because I was so overwhelmed, and it's all these people telling you what you should do,
Mhm.
and so I wrote this song. It's a really good song, and I wrote it with really talented people, but, like, it wasn't very true to me, like, it didn't feel like my sound, and then I announced that I was gonna put it out, I submitted it to DSPs, and I had a release date, I was promoting it, and then 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out, I pulled it from everything, and I was like, "I can't do this, like, this isn't me," and then I hid for a little bit, and then I wrote Locksmith, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best song I've ever written," and so I put out Locksmith, but it took me, like, actually 8 months to put out another song after What Are You Doing Now?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so overwhelming, and congratulations to you, and, like, props to you for not doing something that you weren't it wasn't authentic to you. I mean, I
Mhm.
would imagine having people that have been in the business for a long time are like, "Oh, you need to sound like this, and you need to do this,"
Exactly.
and it's like, should I take these people's advice? I mean, they've obviously have a track record of other successful people and have been around this business, and I'm gonna work with this songwriter who's written this hit or whatever. And then you're
Mhm.
like, is this how I need it? It needs to go, or do I just do that, or do I
Yeah.
just stay true to myself?
Yeah.
And I mean, you do, and then you put out Locksmith, and like we just said, it has nearly 54 million streams. So it's not like no one cared, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
did run the risk of okay, I had this one song, is it gonna happen again? And then it
Mhm.
does. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
It was a scary time, but I'm happy I waited, and people were so mad at me for pulling that song, like, online and just mostly what like, real
Yeah.
people were like, "Why are you
What are
doing
you
this?"
doing? Yeah.
I'm like and I'm really, like I that's probably my proudest thing that I've ever done is pull that song because, like, I can be such a people pleaser, and I was, and that's kind of why the song was ever coming out in the first place. Um, but it was not my sound. It wasn't really telling the story I wanted to tell, and, um, I learned a lot in those 8 months after What Are You Doing Now? And now I feel like I'm so everything that is, gonna come out, I'm so proud of and feels like the most me, and it's just nice because I feel like I'm kind of a perfectionist, and it's nice that, like, the songs that are out now and Just Because too,
Yeah,
just
that
came
one's
out.
doing
Like, that one's, like, so I'm just everything out, I'm, like, super proud of, and I just want it to be like that forever. Like, I don't wanna sacrifice myself to, like, do what people tell me to do.
100%. Yeah, I feel like I'm similar in that sense. Like, that's one of my big character defects is that I'll, like, say yes to everything, and like, "Oh, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, yeah," and but the fact that you were, like, held your ground, you're like, "Know what? I'm gonna have to do this." And that, I'm sure, was probably something that was stirring in your mind for such a long time, like, "Okay, I gotta wake up. I gotta tell these people that I'm not putting the song out."
Oh my god, it was so scary. No, I will never forget the moment that I was like, "I can't put this song out," and thankfully, like, the people on my immediate team are so supportive. It's like my family, like, my brother helps manage me, my sister's on my team.
Incredible.
It's very, like everyone was like, "Yes, we got you." It was more scary telling, like, the other, like, label
Yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah, definitely.
but, everyone understood, but I remember, like, when it hit me that I just couldn't do it, it was like I was about to post another video promoting it or something, and I was like, I can't do it." I just started, like, crying, could not stop crying. I was like, but I don't want to put the song out. Like, I don't want to put the song out. And my brother's like, you don't have to. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, my head just exploded. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't do it. What do you mean? And then I was just like, I didn't know I could do what I want. And then eventually I was like, yeah, wait, I don't want to put the song out. So I didn't put the song out.
That's awesome. I will say that's amazing that you have such a supportive family and brother and sister that work with you. I mean, that's so cool.
It's so nice. Yeah. They're the best.
Yeah, so you do Locksmith and it does awesome. And recently you put out Just Because, which is another great song that's killing it. Tell
Thank
me
you.
about that song, and then it sounds like you have other stuff that you're really excited about coming out as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah. So just because I love this song, I feel like I I wrote it on a very I was like emotionally all over the place. And I went to the studio and I had a session with producer I work with a bunch, Griff Clausen and Shy Martin. And they're both like just people I admire so much. And I was like, I really want this day to go well, but I'm so all over the place and none of my emotions make sense. And then I went on this rant and I was like, just ranting, just because I feel like this doesn't mean I really feel like this. And then we wrote a song about it. And um and I really like it. It's it's my most it's I feel like it shows a lot how like all over the like how like when I say I'm easily overwhelmed, like this song is what I would listen to calm me down, I guess, for a while. So I'm happy it's out in the world.
Yeah, it's great. That's cool. You work with Griff Clausen. Do you work with him a lot on your music? I've had him on my podcast before.
Really?
Yeah, it was like April or something. It was last year at some point. Maybe it was like a year ago. Over
Oh my gosh.
April 2022, maybe.
Sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like my closest collaborator. We did Locksmith together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we like so many of my songs are just me and it. We're like about to be neighbors. I'm moving in next to him. We're like
Uh, that's
besties.
cool. Yeah, and then you could, I mean, talk about writing music. That'd be
I
easy.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here. um, that's awesome. Yeah, he's a great dude. I chatted with him. Yeah, it was a while. Oh, maybe it was. I don't remember. Maybe it was 2 years ago. It was a while ago. That's all I remember.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
best.
I think actually I was still in San Diego at the time. I'm getting my whole time line off, but it doesn't matter. So tell me, you just released that, and you have more music coming up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm almost done um finishing all the songs that I want to come out in the next few months. Um, and I'm really excited. They're like my favorite songs I've ever written. And also like the production is so cool. Been with Griff like every day, just making it feel like the most me. Oh my gosh, he just texted me too. That's funny. Um
His ears are burning.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But I'm so excited. I feel like this last year I've learned so much. I said that, but I just feel like I feel like ready to put out music. It took like a year, but I feel like I've got it now, which is cool.
that is cool. Are you gonna do like a EP or just keep putting out single songs?
Yeah, yeah. It'll be a EP probably. Yeah.
Amazing. And you did a tour recently? Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah. I opened for Kian Ducrot in Europe, in the UK.
That's huge.
It was my first tour and it was
Was it
so
your
fun.
first time to Europe?
It was my first time to Europe, but my first time singing
To-
in
yeah,
Europe.
and touring, and your first tour is
Yeah.
there. That's cool. Very,
It's
very
so
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Best.
Well, Sadie, thank you so much for hanging out with me and telling me your story. I love what you're doing. I can't wait to see the new or hear the new stuff you have coming out as well. I have one more question before I let you go. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Hmm. I would say stay true to yourself, just to fit the theme of what we've been talking about. I feel like it's really easier said than done, but it's probably the thing that will make you the most, like, special. It's just being yourself.